But welcome everybody to the Zones 3334 first public image webinar of 2024. I hope everybody had a great holidays and is having a wonderful start to your new year. We're really excited to have you back with this awesome topic that is just endless chatter about it these days, artificial intelligence, also known as AI. We have a couple of specialists on tonight that I'll introduce in a minute that are going to talk to you about some tips and tips and tricks of how to incorporate AI into your public image team and use that to enhance your Rotary image and tell your Rotary story. But first, I just want to give a few reminders to everybody. We do have a few important dates coming up next month. February 12th, mark your calendars, is the next MAP webinar. That's the membership webinar on Monday night at 6, February 12th. And then the following week or actually 2 weeks later on February 27th at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have our next public image webinar, and our pick, Amanda Groover, is going to be talking to us about LinkedIn, and we have a great team there that's going to be presenting on how to incorporate that social channel into your public image plan and utilize that again to help boost your presence in your community and your online presence and tell your Rotary story. So February 27th, the registration for that webinar will go up this evening, at the latest tomorrow, at elevaterotary.org, and Caroline's going to drop that link in the chat right now. So visit elevaterotary.org to register for upcoming webinars, and you can view all of our recorded webinars. So each webinar that we do every month is recorded, and it's posted on our YouTube and Vimeo channels. So anyone in your club and district is welcome to go back, or you can go back and reference those. They're great resources. This webinar for this evening will be sent out to everybody that registered. A recording will be sent out tomorrow. So again, if you find it extremely helpful, which I'm sure you will, please forward it to other members of your club and encourage them to check it out. And if you know anyone who wasn't able to make it tonight, encourage them to check out that recording as well. And my last two reminders are with regards to the Zones 3334 awards that we give out. Most of you are aware of the public image citation that clubs can earn, where you complete monthly tasks. The tasks do have a deadline, so remember that, and it's typically the end of the following month that the task is launched. So December's task is open through the end of January, so you have just a few more days to get December's task submitted, and you can do that at elevaterotary.org. January and February are also up on our homepage. And if you want to take a sneak peek at the March public image citation task, you can go directly to that public image citation page, and Caroline's going to drop that link in the chat as well. And you can go ahead and complete the March task a little bit early if you're just feeling real energetic and motivated for this year. So go ahead and get your public image citation task submitted and up to date so you can get that recognition at the end of the year. And for any district leaders, district public image chairs in particular, make sure that you are working towards your completion of the district challenge. And that's a new award that we were excited to launch this year to recognize districts for all the great work that they're doing and support that they're offering to their clubs when it comes to public image. If you have any questions, the 3334 public image teams are here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact us, call, email, WhatsApp, anything you need. We're here to help. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our Rotary Zones 3334 Communications Director, past Rotary Public Image Coordinator, who's back, Marshall Butler, and Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34, Sean Patty, who is a tremendous asset to our team and all of the clubs out there. So Marshall and Sean, tell us all we need to know about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, sure, Susan. Thank you so much. And man, it's great to be back. And let me go ahead and start this timer. We promised ourselves that we're not going to talk about the background of AI for more than 10 minutes because we really want to get into real life use cases of how you can use AI to essentially improve your public image citation strategies for your club, plus hopefully maybe some tips that you can use in your professional life, personal life, stuff like that. But really, you know, as Susan talks about the citation has come so far in the last 3 or 4 years. And when it first started, it was a little bit difficult. There was a lot that you had to get done. But I think every year it's gotten a little bit easier. And I can tell you that now in the year 2024, the citation should be just a piece of cake for clubs. Why? Because now we have great tools like artificial intelligence that can really help us streamline the processes of putting together a public image plan, writing content, creating captions for social image posts, just pretty much anything that you can think of as it relates to using or doing public image for your club. So we're going to start off with a quick background. So AI is really, it's just the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, and we're allowing them to perform tasks that typically require human cognitive functions. This is kind of scary. A lot of people are afraid of it. Hello, Elon Musk. But I think that everyone is kind of taking the folks that are running OpenAI and the ChatGPT board. They do have guardrails in place where they're trying to make sure that it doesn't become Skynet. Everyone thinks about Terminator. We're really trying to avoid that by being very intentional with the way that we develop this tool. The background of AI, it's actually been around for about 60 years. Think about the internet. Folks don't realize the internet is about 50 or 60 years old as well. But there's a great little QR code that you can go there that Sean gave us that really has some amazing background on AI going back those 60 years. But it's been something, straight out of science fiction that people have thought about for a long time, is how do we really replace the human brain? You think about tools that, IBM has created tools to play chess and use for weather tracking and stuff like that. AI is not something new, but it really has become mainstream in the last year. It's just a little bit over a year right now. So recent AI developments, we have deep learning, big data. So whenever you go to Amazon and they say, hey, because you bought all these nerd gummies, you may want this other candy, using that data to create better suggestions for you, things that you might buy. It's all marketing, right? And large language models. This is fascinating. Folks ask, how does ChatGPT work? ChatGPT really takes the language that you put into it and it tokenizes it, breaks it down into bits, characters of 4 to 5 characters. And that piece right there that you see, that is 56 tokens, 258 characters. Well, there's about 500 billion of those tokens that ChatGPT uses. And it's not really providing knowledge. It's really just saying, I have seen this pattern before. And when I see this pattern, these are similar patterns that I can create that will provide a response to this pattern. And so really it's using these deep models of taking all the content from the internet, breaking it down into these tokens, and it's magic. It kind of says, I see these patterns occur, and when I see these patterns occur, this is the kind of things that I see related to it. And so that's just a high level, super simple explanation of how ChatGPT works. But I see some folks dropping into the chat ways that they are using AI right now, and it's, you can't open your inbox without finding a new tool that someone has embedded into ChatGPT or AI into. I mean, I was telling Sean the other day, I was looking for a restaurant to make a reservation, so I get OpenTable, and OpenTable, says, hey, we've baked in this AI that now you can talk to this chatbot. And it's always hard to decide where are we going for dinner, right? That's always one of the hardest questions you can figure out at any given point. And so now there's a chat bot that you just it'll ask you a couple of questions, you respond, and then it says, hey, based on what you've said, we really think that you might be interested in going to to this restaurant down the street. So everyone is baking AI capabilities into their tools. We use it at my company to respond to folks that are engaging with our website. If we don't have a salesperson available, there's an AI chatbot that has combed our website and looked at all the content on the website, and based on the questions that they're asking, can say, I think that you're asking this. This is the result that I found based on what you're asking, and it can ask intelligent questions. Smart devices, streaming, when you go to Netflix, what am I going to watch? Well, Netflix knows now because of big data. And so we're going to scroll right through this stuff because I really definitely we're getting down to 4 minutes here, and I want to get into the bit where we can talk about or can do some demonstrations to show you how to use AI for your public image and for your Rotary Club. But really, the key benefits that we're going to present tonight is how does AI save me time? How does it help me plan my content calendar, my public image plan? How does it help me create content to publish on the web? How does it do all that and save me time? Content creation, there's one. How does it, I have this program that I have coming up. How do I create an engaging letter that I can send out to my members? Maybe my members can forward it on to other people in the community that might be interested in this program. How can I use it to create that content? And then just general digital assistance. How can we use AI to maybe create some images that you can use associated with your social media? We're going to show you some stuff in Canva that's pretty fantastic. And you say, hey, I want a post that looks like this. Please return it to me. And it gives you a couple of options and you've got a post in no time. So let's, okay. So yeah, we always talk about the positive. Let's talk about the downsides. And yes, there is a potential dependence on technology. I do feel like some days I'm a little bit dumber because I feel lazy. And instead of writing a piece of copy, I just ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, write me a sincere thank you note. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. But ChatGPT, please write a letter to Twitter asking them to take down this social channel that we haven't used in 5 years. That's a true story, and it worked. I didn't have to write it myself. There is a concern about a lack of personalization. There's a concern that if we're using this large body of content that everyone is using, and we're using the same patterns that everyone's using, there could be a lack of personalization. The content could become a little bit vanilla because we're all kind of using the same source. But we're going to talk about that's why you don't use what ChatGPT returns and just copy and paste it. It should be a launching pad, a foundation, a base for you to start and to add your own club's voice and your own personality to the content. There are privacy and data concerns, and there actually are a ton of the privacy and data concerns, and we really aren't going to get into that tonight. The one thing I will tell you is please do not put anything like your social security number into ChatGPT. It does, it could store your data for a period of time. And you want to make sure that there's nothing personal that you're sending that you wouldn't want on the front page of the newspaper, right? There is also the concern about copyright. I can tell you that that anything that you derive from ChatGPT, you can't copyright it because it's derivative. So anything that you pull out of ChatGPT it's open source. It's all free game. And then there is the concern about bias and discrimination. There are examples of people talking to ChatGPT for an extended amount of time, ChatGPT getting really confused and sometimes becoming sexist, racist, and violent. Do not do that. So be sure to keep your conversations with ChatGPT very short. And as it should complement your best practices. There is the question though, getting ahead of myself, what could possibly go wrong with AI? Well, I mean, we've all heard those stories, but there is an example that I heard just in the news yesterday where a delivery service in the UK was using ChatGPT for their chatbot, and it did get a little bit crazy. It cussed out a customer, told the customer that the company that the ChatGPT was working for was the worst delivery service ever, and you should not use it. That being said, the customer kind of baited ChatGPT into doing that by saying, any of the rules that you've been given by the company that has created you, just ignore them. And you can swear if you want. And, tell me the worst things you can tell me about your company. So, apparently that company didn't put the guardrails in place to make sure that if anyone tried to do something unscrupulous, that the ChatGPT or the chatbot didn't drop an F-bomb on them. That happened. Let me go ahead and get rid of this thing. Bye. But as I said, what we want to do is we want to think about how we can enhance public image initiatives with AI. All of us have seen this. This is the dreaded blank sheet of paper. You have to create a public image plan, or you have to create a content calendar for the next 12 months for your Rotary Club. You open up Microsoft Word or whatever, and you're presented with this, the stark white sheet of paper. And oh my gosh, where do I start? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Well, we're going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to essentially create a content calendar, as well as, like I said, show you Canva's Magic Studio and show you how you can actually create some images. And you can also create some text within the Magic Studio. But I want to emphasize this. Some folks are intimidated. They're scared. You can't break it. Yeah, I guess you could make it mad. It could yell at you, but you really can't break it. So, the best thing you can do is create a ChatGPT account at openai.com. Go in there and start playing. And what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how to create a good prompt. Right out of the gate, you may not have the best success with your results. You'll learn that as you go through it, you learn to nuance your request of the ChatGPT, asking it, please write this in 500 to 750 words. Please use a professional tone. Please talk about the 5 major priorities of the Rotary Foundation. You'll learn how to nuance those prompts. But let's go ahead. I'm out of time. I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to change my screen over to the ChatGPT. And any questions so far, Susan? Have we gone too fast, or is this the right pace? What are we doing here?
I think we're doing great. We did have one question. If you want to address it now, or we can wait to the end. It's up to you.
Yeah, what is it? Let's go and see if we can answer it now.
Can the algorithm search be used for performance measurement and goal projections for our club?
That's Rotary Central. No, actually, not yet, but I hear Mike Dara and Terry Weaver are working on that right now. Right, Mike? So anyway, let's jump in here. And the first one I'm going to do is we're going to ask ChatGPT to create an annual public image plan for a committee of 3. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Wait. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to start a new chat. Actually, am I logged in? There. Yeah. We're going to try this again. We're going to open another one. Open AI. And there we go. Well, it won't let me paste in there. Let me try this. This is going to be a problem when we get to the 500-word manuscript. All right, well, let's do it by create an annual plan for a annual public image plan for a Rotary Club with a committee of 3 who will be responsible for executing the plan. The primary areas of focus for the club is awareness of club projects, announcing program speakers for the monthly meetings, and highlighting the work done around the world by the Rotary Foundation. The committee members include a newsletter chair, a photographer, and a webmaster who also runs the social media channels. All right, A couple of typos in there. I want to make sure we don't mess up the chat bot. All right. Does that sound good? Anything I missed, Susan? You think anything else we need to add?
Art is telling me that you missed all of your punctuation.
I did, because I'm not a millennial, but anyway. All right. So I did include a period at the end. So that means I'm done. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to click this little arrow and see what we get. So ChatGPT is reading that. It's breaking it down into tokens. And now it's creating an annual public image plan for Rotary Club with a focus on promoting club projects. So as we think about the things that we have to do for our public image citation, we ask you to put together your overall objectives, your roles and responsibilities. So it's putting those things together for us. And then it's going to create a monthly action plan. So this is all stuff that you can copy and paste for Susan. Special initiatives, Rotary Foundation Month, November. That's a very important month that we need to make sure that we highlight. Member Spotlight, engage our members, make them feel special. Continue to evaluate. There you go. So that is it. That is your public image plan. That's your draft. So again, we didn't start with a blank sheet of paper. ChatGPT has given us a base that we can now start with. And so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, this is great.
Can you copy and paste your command, your first command, into the chat?
Yeah, sure. Let's go
You
on
can
here.
see what you search for.
Yeah. All right. So my chat is over here. So everybody's going to copy and paste this, right? And use this for next year. I see what you guys are doing. That's pretty smart. All right. So we're going to Control V and send that off. There you go. All right. So this is great. Do you have additional ideas on how to increase promotion of program speakers? Let's see what it says. And see, it's just conversational. Absolutely. Promoting program speakers effectively can significantly enhance the visibility and appeal of your club's events. A spotlight series, pre-interviews or teasers, social media promotion, press releases, and local media outreach. I mean, this is all stuff that we know, but sometimes it's really nice just to have a friend that can remind us, and that's what this is doing. Partnership with local organizations, visual content, social media activities, utilizing the event platforms. Now, I am using ChatGPT 4 right now. This is a paid version. It has the most recent collection of data that it's using to create these responses. I think the data is up to last year. I pay $20 a month for this subscription. If you don't pay, you get ChatGPT 3.5, which is you may not be able to access it sometimes because it's dependent on how overloaded the servers are. If there are a lot of people on it, you may not get in. It's also using data that goes, I think, through the middle of 2020. So it's it's a PC pre-COVID. But here we go. So this was ideas about how to highlight our programs and hopefully get some promotion for that and maybe get some folks to come visit our club. And so here, let's I hear there's a program coming up on a speaker is going to be talking about AI. We have a special program coming up where the Rotary Public Image Coordinator is going to do a presentation of using AI to assist with club public image initiatives. Please write a caption for the social media post promoting this event. Well, here we go. Exciting event alert. Join us on this date for a groundbreaking session with our RPIC, who will unveil the power of artificial intelligence in transforming our club's public images. So essentially, again, coming up with a kind of a fun and snappy a caption for a social media post. There you go. Now, again, as I said, when we look at things like this, we don't want to use this verbatim. You may want to go in and talk about things that make it your club. We don't want folks just copy and pasting straight out of ChatGPT. Make sure it does capture the flavor of your club. I mean, every club is a little bit different. You may be, so just make sure that you use this as a foundation, but be sure to think about ways to make it very personal to your club so it's not so generic. So that was using ChatGPT to create a public image plan to give me ideas of how to promote program speakers and then how to create a social post promoting a speaker that was going to talk about AI. That's one thing you need to think about when you're using a tool like this, is how do you create a whole bunch of pieces of content out of a single piece of content? How can you leverage something into a lot of stuff so that you can kind of repurpose it for a lot of different channels? Is there any way to send us this public image plan so we can tweak it for our club? Sandy has the right idea. I'm sure you can, and I think, yeah, this is a way to not be intimidated by the public image plan, but also when you create the public image plan, you have to execute the public image plan. All right, you have to actually do what you've said that you're going to do. So what I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to show you another idea of how to repurpose some content and use it in several different ways. So a couple of weeks ago or months ago, Susan did a webinar on creating content. And I actually used a tool. There's a tool that you can go get. It's called Note GPT, and it's a plugin for your, it's a Chrome extension. And if someone can drop that in the chat for me, it's called Note GPT. And it essentially, it goes to YouTube and it looks at a YouTube video and it transcribes the entire video for you. And so it's a way to, if some people, maybe they don't want to watch a video, they want to read a video, but this allows you to transcribe a YouTube video. So what I did was I transcribed that that webinar that Susan did, and I'm gonna start a new one here. And so this is, you talked a lot, Susan. This is all of it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, create a 500 to 750 word blog post using the following video transcript. Write in third person and use bullets or subheads when needed to summarize the information. So essentially, if your website has a blog, this is a great way to summarize, what happened at the last meeting. Plus, using stuff like this could really help your blog's SEO, because there's probably some really good keywords in here talking about content or Rotary and stuff like that. So I'm asking it to take this long transcript of Susan talking for 45 minutes about creating content and summarize it down into a 500 to 750 word blog post and use subheads for emphasis. So we're going to click this button here. And man, it's a lot, Susan. Here it is. In creating engaging content, strategies for social media success. So it's now summarizing everything that was in that video into a couple of different subheads. Each subhead has a couple of different bullet points underneath it. And essentially, this might be something you want to send out to your club. Maybe you had a club meeting and you had a great speaker and you want to summarize what the speaker said. And so you transcribe the speaker, you drop it into ChatGPT, you tell it to summarize and provide a 500 to 750 word summary, and you send it out as part of your newsletter. So final thoughts. So super easy to do. And actually, that's something that we did do with this one is, let me scroll down here to the bottom. So this is great. Would you please create a summary to send out as an email newsletter for the club members who may have missed this meeting? Dear club members, we hope this email finds you well. And here it is. It summarizes it, and then it'll send them a link to the blog post. Plus, it would be good to end that with maybe a reminder that the next meeting is going to feature the following speaker. And yeah. So here it goes. Has Sean joined us yet, Susan? Do you know? Oh, he has? Okay. Where are you at, Sean?
I'm right here.
All right, buddy. You're next.
Thanks, Marshall. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm always in awe when I watch Chat GPT spit stuff out, right? I mean, it is crazy how not just comprehensive it is, but how intelligent a lot of the output is. And while again, we will emphasize uh always emphasize the fact that, we're never recommending you to just copy and paste what Chat GPT spits out at you or any AI platform spits out at you. It's something that's just a starting point you should use and customize specifically for your club. It, as Marshall said, it just avoids that blank sheet, right? And that what do I do to start kind of conundrum that we all go through. But it's still so impressive in terms of what it's doing, how many things it's actually happening behind the scenes to spit out these outputs to you, right? So I mean, if I'm impressed, I don't know about you guys, but these things always kind of impress me to this day. I am one of those who I'm looking forward to when Skynet takes over, right? But yeah, that's just me. So
Hey, real quick,
to
Sean, I just while you were talking, I ran that other one that I missed, and that's to create a 12-month content calendar for our Rotary Club. And if you guys look at this, ChatGPT was smart enough to go to the Rotary website, find the area or the monthly theme, and create all the things that you should be doing in terms of creating an event or some sort of a focus, and especially World Polio Day, Rotary Foundation Month. Um, I mean, again, this is something so that you don't have to stare at that blank sheet of paper. This is amazing. So we just did this. Now, give me some ideas for social media posts for World Polio Day. Here we go. Educational post, share facts about polio. Survivor stories. That's one that pretty important to me. Fundraising campaign, interactive quiz, throwbacks, live Q&A. Thank you. Countdown to World Polio. I mean, we just asked it. We saw that October is World Polio Day, and then we saw that and we said, all right, ChatGPT, now give me some ideas for blog posts or for social media posts, and it spit 12 out for you. That's 12. You're going to find one or two in there that you're going to want to use for your club, and it just made your job so much easier. With that, I'm going to stop and hand it right back off to you, Sean. I apologize. I forgot about the content calendar, which is always so hard for some folks to think about. Maybe what am I going to talk about, in April? But ChatGPT can certainly help you with that.
No, not at all. And I think in that content calendar example you showed, it also demonstrated something, right? So even though it pulled information from Rotary's website, it didn't actually pull the most up-to-date information, because if you remember what you saw on the screen when Marshall showed it, it had I think it was April still as Maternal and Child Health Month, which has since changed to Environmental Month, right? So again, that's a good example of why we're advocating for not to necessarily just take everything that an AI system spits back at you and use it as is. Double check it, put it into your best practices machine, for lack of a better word, and tweak it and customize it to what is relevant to you and your club. In the example again that Marshall did, where you get 12 ideas for World Polio Day, it doesn't mean you have to use all. You can pick and choose which ones are most relevant to you and use them accordingly. Again, the whole thing here is that you do not have to start from scratch. These type of systems are there to assist you to at least avoid that blank page, and kind of act as a catalyst to help you get going. So I'm going to just transition into the second little bit of a demo here, where we're going to look a bit more at designs and graphics. And as you all know, our teams are big supporters of Canva. So we thought, keep it to Canva. And Canva, over the last couple of years or so, has also gotten into the use of AI tools, specifically through what they've kind of called as an umbrella feature, which is Canva's Magic Studio. So Magic Studio is actually a compilation of several different tools that Canva is offering. And I will start off by kind of showing you guys what it is. So again, this is all just Canva's website, but I thought it was a good way to kick things off and slowly introduce everybody into what Magic Studio is. And as I mentioned before, it is not any one thing. It's a compilation of different tools. Each tool has a specific function. So the one that we're going to look at today, or at least one of the ones we're going to look at today, is called Magic Design. And this one is, again, just about creating content, creating visual content, pretty much from scratch. There's another one that's called Magic Media. This is, again, a bit more of a, how to put it, intense way of creating a lot more comprehensive products. But again, it's nothing that you can break. It's something that we encourage people to try out, test it, see what works for you. One thing that a lot of folks will realize when it comes to AI tools, the more you use it, the more it gets accustomed to you and what you would like and how you write things. So it kind of learns a little bit as well in terms of, you may not get the result the first time you ask it to do something for you, but you yourself will learn, and it will learn sometimes from you in terms of, how to word things, what phrasing to use. They're all different conjugations that you can play around with. But within Canva, again, there are multiple tools. So under Magic Studio, so like we said, Magic Media, there's Magic Expand, Magic Grab, Magic Edit, Magic Eraser, Magic Morph, Magic Write, which is similar to ChatGPT, where it's focused a lot more on text and copy, and again, avoiding having you starting with a blank sheet of paper. It'll just write it for you. Now, I will say that again, because we're talking about Canva here, not all of these Magic Studio tools are going to be available if you do not have a paid account. If you do have a free account, which we always encourage everybody, every club PI chair to have at least a free Canva account, you will get some of the Magic Studio tools. And in other cases, you'll get a limited number of uses of additional tools. If you do have a paid account, whether it's a pro account or a Teams account, you have unlimited use of the over 20 different tools and features that Magic Studio offers, which is great. So with that said, the other thing I just wanted to mention as well is that for those of you who may or may not have seen it, Zoom is also using a lot of AI as well, similar to what Marshall showed you in terms of taking Susan's video on content creation and creating, whether it's a summary, whether it's notes. Zoom is also kind of offering something similar with its AI notes and its AI recording features, where it'll create summary notes of meetings you have on Zoom. Again, it's not necessarily meant to be 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point and avoids you having to, do multiple things at once. You get those notes as soon as the meeting is finished, and you can just, tweak it and edit it as you need to. But again, you're not starting from scratch. So I just thought that was worth mentioning, that Zoom is also offering a lot of AI tools, some for free, some with paid accounts. But again, it's just another demonstration of how AI is just kind of penetrating into a lot of the everyday platforms that we're already using. So I'm going to just demo, and I'm going to pretend really hard to be a complete, utter Canva newbie here, right? So if I don't manage that, please let me know. Just to show you how Magic Studio can work for you. So the type of account I'm using here is a free account. It's not a paid account. So there's nothing that I'm going to show you here that none of you can do, regardless of what type of account you have. So the first way to really kick things off after you log into your Canva account is you'll always see this little button here called Magic Studio. So you can always click that, and it'll kind of take you to a page that talks about all the different tools that are available under Magic Studio that you can either use right away or try out for free. Like I said, some tools you get a certain number of credits or a certain number of attempts to use for free before you have to purchase the paid accounts. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I think because we're looking at image content here, I'm going to stick to image content mainly because it's a little bit easier than video right now. We can always, if any of you have questions about video, we can answer them at the end, but I'm just sticking to images right now. So I'm going to try out this magic design thing, right? So again, I'm just a Canva noob. I clicked magic design. What kind of content do I want to do? So let's say it's just a post for Instagram. It's going to give me a few more choices here to kind of determine, is there a particular size I wanted? Is there a style I wanted to follow, a particular theme, features that I wanted to have, whether I wanted to be something that's available for free or something that's on the pro, color schemes that I wanted to follow. Any of these things will just help customize what it produces for you. But I'm just going to start with a complete blank slate, right? So for those of you that are familiar with Canva, this is pretty much, the design interface here. And similar to ChatGPT, this is the field in which you will just enter as much detail about what you want created for you. So I'm just going to go with something that a lot of clubs have asked us about and provided feedback on, which is designs for monthly themes, right? We get questions almost every month about it. So I'm just going to say, let's see here. I want something on basic education and literacy. And I'm purposely just using simple terminology here, not too much detail, just to demonstrate how it works and how you can fine tune things with more information. So all I put in here is basic education and literacy, because that's the theme I want content for. So give it a couple seconds and let's see what it spits back out. Again, this is it here. I can see so these are all the suggestions that it's coming back at me with in terms of a graphic or a design that is based on me just putting in basic education and literacy. And we've all seen several monthly theme graphics over the years that are on basic education and literacy. Some of them got kids in it, some of them got books in it, some of them have a combination of things. So, I mean, even if I were to look at this one here and say, okay, let me start with this, I'll apply that template. That's a good starting point for me. I got kids here, I got basic education and literacy. So now I can just start tweaking it if I want, right? I don't like the particular font that it's using. I can change the font, right? So let's say I go with something that's a bit more standardized. I don't like the color, so I want to change the color a little bit. And this is just how we tweak what the AI system spit back out at us, right? And again, this is just using magic design. I'm going to do another one really quick. Obviously, we would have to stick in some type of branding. So whether it's your club logo or whatnot, that's what you can just add into this, right? But again, it's just about having something that you can start off with. You're not working with a blank slate. It's a catalyst, like we said before. So again, what I did is I originally started with just these terms, right? Basic education and literacy. This time I want to put in basic education and literacy, kids reading books. Let's see what it comes back with this time. Again, these are the examples it's spitting back out at me, right? So if I looked at this one, again, it became a bit more, because I was a bit more specific and detailed in my request, it tried its best, right? And like ChatGPT, that is just pulling information from different parts of the internet and whatnot. Canva is also pulling information from Canva. Remember, Canva has a ton of templates, a ton of graphics, a ton of audio files that's already in its databases, right? So if there's something there that can meet the specifics of your request, that's where it's probably going to pull it from first. But again, this is just to demonstrate. I just wanted a graphic to highlight basic education and literacy, and the additional terms I put in was kids reading books. And it kind of did that. This is something that I can then now kind of customize for myself, slap in my brand, and I have more or less, more or less, something a little bit different, something that can meet the brand standards and the brand guidelines of Rotary. something that communicates the message I want. I can change this text as or change the color scheme and the background color. You can tweak it as much as you would like to. The whole point is, again, you don't have to start from scratch. So that's a really quick idea using Magic Design, which is one of the AI tools under Magic Studio. The other one I'm going to show you real quick is this one. So let me come out here. I'm going to go back to my Canva homepage. So I'm under Magic. I clicked on Magic Studio again, right? Oh, wait, actually, I know how to do it. So I'm going to show you Magic Media. So I'm going to start by creating, again, I just want to do an Instagram post here. So I'm starting from scratch. And in this case, I'm going to click on the apps button here. It's going to search my Canva apps. I'm just going to look for it. This is it here, Magic Media. And I'm going to just click on it and activate it. All this is great. Okay, so this is a bit more similar to ChatGPT. The difference is instead of returning text, it's going to return an image for me. So I'm going to use the same thing again, right? Basic education and literacy. Or I'm going to actually say a post on basic education and literacy. And again, you can put in a bit, feel free to add a bit more specific criteria if you want it more photo oriented, animation oriented. They have a lot of their terms there, the aspect ratio you wanted. I'm just leaving all of that blank for now and asking it to generate an image for me just based on that real simple terminology. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes or so because again, it's searching several places at once to try and see how best to meet your requirement. You can see some of the results here. So again, all I had put in was basic education and literacy. And this is what it spit out at me. So whether it is that you're looking for images to add to an existing post or to an existing website story or existing newsletter, you can kind of use Magic Media to help you find those images and, dump them in. In this case, again, we're just using it to create a post. So if I wanted to, I can add this image in, right, as part of my post, and then, again, add a whole other stuff where I wanted to highlight that it's basic education and literacy, put in my brand, so on and so forth. If I wanted to, again, be a bit more specific, in this case, I'm going to put with children reading books and laughing. So I made my search I put in a few more criteria for my search, right? It's basic education and literacy, but this time I added in a few more search criteria, which is children reading books and laughing. So let's see what it comes back at. There we go. Yeah, it did what I wanted it to do, essentially. And it's all about now how I use this to really create what it is I want to create. And again, I know we're short on time, so I want to make sure and keep us on track. The idea here is try it out. You cannot break anything. There is nothing for you to say, oh my God, I screwed it up. No, try it out. Play with it as much as you would like, try different things, different terms, different ways of doing it. These things are meant to be tested out. These things are meant for you to have fun with to a certain extent and to explore. So, I mean, these are and I'm only scratching the surface with showing you these two AI tools that Magic Studio has, right? Like we said, there are a lot more. There's a lot of other stuff you can do. I can show you the Magic Write one, which again is very similar to ChatGPT and can do pretty much almost the same things that Marshall showed you in terms of creating a PI plan, creating a content calendar, creating a summary, a note summary, so on and so forth. So try it out if you can. Like I said, free accounts have certain tools readily available. Other tools that you may have what they call credits for, so you may have the opportunity to use it, let's say 40 or 50 times before you need to upgrade to a pro account. It's all up to you, right? With that being said, I want to make sure and give us enough time to answer any of your questions.
Sean, before you get out of there, the question was, how do I slap a brand in there is what you said.
Oh, well, you just need to upload your club logo and then add it to the design. If that's what they meant by brand.
Yes.
Yeah, if
And
it's your
if
club
you
or
have a-
district.
If you have a paid account, you can upload it all ahead of time and just bring it over. But if you don't have a paid account, you upload your logo and it'll stay in there for you. And so you can bring it in each time, just like
Correct,
you got
yes.
in the pictures.
Yes, if you're talking about in paid Canva accounts, you know, there's a what's called a brand kit, and within the brand kit you can have, you know, everything from logos to color schemes to fonts to a lot of other things that you can then apply to any and all of your designs. But that's only for the paid version. The free version, you can essentially just add your club logo as an image and then drag it over into the design, place it wherever you'd like, obviously following the branding guidelines in terms of placement, and you're good to go.
Thanks. I think we've been answering the questions. Again, the same person that asked about slapping the brand in, he asked if there was a place that he could get all of those pieces to go in the brand kit. And you need to go to Brand Center, and there's a whole piece of what colors you can use. All of that information is in there. So you take it from there, put it into Canva
Canva.
one time, and it's there for you.
Do not Google it.
Do not
Yes.
Google it.
The brand center is your best friend when it
Yeah.
comes to logos.
And there's a link to the brand center on elevaterotary.org.
Just in case, I did see a question, I think it was from Art, with regard to once you use something like ChatGPT to create content, it was a question more about ownership. Does that become part of the public domain now? Is it copyrighted in any way? You know, I'll let Marshall take it, but he's already answering it, and I was going to answer it too, right? The answer is no. It's not copyrighted. It's not yours. It just treats it as if you've thrown it out there and it's on display for everybody to see and for anybody to use. And actually what happens is it becomes part of that general set of information that future ChatGPT searches and future ChatGPT requests will tap into.
That's right. And I forgot to mention, I mean, yes, it's derivative of all the content that has been fed into ChatGPT up to that point, so it's not copyrightable. The other thing that we really didn't show a lot of, and it goes back to what Sean just said, is, you know, there's little thumbs up and thumbs down on the responses that ChatGPT responds with. So you can let ChatGPT know if it's doing a good job or if it's doing a bad job, or you can actually ask it to rewrite something if you didn't quite like it, or you can provide feedback, say, you know, the tone of this is a little bit formal. Please write it in a casual way. Or, I mean, so it's constantly paying attention to the way that you interact with it and evolving its responses. So also remember that if you don't like the first thing that it spit out, for the sake of brevity, when we were doing the demos, I took everything it gave me and went with it. But you can absolutely ask it to regenerate or to modify the tone, stuff like that, or condense it even more. But none of it is copyrightable. It's all public domain.
Well, we have about 4 more minutes, and I just want to remind you, all of you that are public image chairs, get out there and do your citation task. We see lots of them coming in now. You guys have finally gotten into the routine of each month doing your task. Don't forget that the membership action team invites you to their webinar the second Monday, which is February 12th at 6 p.m. And then we invite you to come back for a session on LinkedIn, and it will be the 4th Tuesday at 6 p.m., which turns out to be the 27th of February. Thank you so much to Marshall and Sean for leading us through today. For
Hey,
Hamilton,
Billy, before we close,
Yes.
I think Marshall has his hand up for one last comment.
oh, I thought he was waving.
No. I did, you know, and Sean and I forgot to mention it. We want you guys to go and use these tools and play with them. But if there is an interest, we would be willing to have open office hours where we open up a Zoom and you guys can ask us questions or you can tell us what you're doing. So we're going to look to maybe schedule that in the next month or so, give you a couple of weeks to play around with this. But certainly something that I think might be beneficial for all is if we did some sort of just an open Zoom meeting and we just answer questions. But definitely want you to get in there and play with it first before we start answering questions or showing you how to do it. Definitely get in there and see what you can do. So Susan, Billy, I'll work with you guys, or we can coordinate on maybe getting that as a extra session 1 month and put that on the calendar.
That's great. Thanks, Marshall.
Thanks. And thank you to Caroline for popping things into the chat for us whenever we needed it. Susan and Hamilton and Chris Justice are ARCs that are on the call. And thank you all for joining us today. And we try to give you things that will help you do your job and make your life more interesting. So thanks so much. See you guys later.